Let me just say, no one's ready for episode 2 of Demon Lord 2099. As someone who was massively let down by season 2 of Devil is a Part-Timer, waited so long for such mediocrity, this is like redemption for that show. Not only am I already enjoying the world and characters more than I did even in the first season of that show, but it hits that sweet spot of taking such a fish out of water and being as silly as possible, but still having a Demon Lord level story. What do they end up doing with the Demon Lord now that he's in 2099? Well, he needs a job that will let him announce to the world. Like, that's kind of like the foundation of his power, is like his voice, his authority. Thank God they didn't turn him into a VTuber. Granted, the night's still young. We might cut into episode 3 and we see his VTuber character model. But I think given his general outfits, he's more than cosplayed out enough that he would work just IRL cam. This show's so freaking stupid, but in a way that's intelligent. It's not stupid because the author tried too hard and to be... No, like, the author's a damn genius. Because everything about this episode sold me even more than the first. It is so freaking funny, and by episode 1 accounts, can be badass. Bring on the next 100 episodes, please. And please, for the love of God, don't let season 2 do a Devil as a Part-Timer. I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want some more full good thoughts on any of these episodes, you know it's over there exclusively. So, first things first. Machina. Best girl not only of the show, but probably of this anime season. So, we knew she was loyal, based on the first episode. Didn't realize how thirsty she was. Like, if you were to give her a lake, that wouldn't be enough to quench the thirst. When the Demon Lord was touching her neck, because, you know, they have the implants that let them have basically a computer in their head, right? The fact that her heart rate, her temperature, her goddamn speech cut out, because she needed a mop bucket for how excited she got. And then, of course, she was like, of course, you weren't actually just touching me, but, you know, if the Demon Lord wanted to. The fact that you have this character who is simultaneously his sugar mama, she actually gave him, like, an MP3 player looking thing, because he doesn't obviously have the technology in his body, with some money. He's like, hey, listen, if you're in trouble, I can locate you. Here, if you get hungry, here's some money. She became his sugar mama in this episode, and she absolutely loved it. But at the same time, their dynamic is just already so freaking wholesome, and I love the fact that rather than having a Demon Lord who's so stuck up his own ass that he basically is so stiff and boring, after being brutally rejected from getting a job, what does he do? He uses her as a lap pillow. We need more Demon Lord MCs like this man. I'm just saying. Now, I think if people walked out of the first episode expecting him to just go around kicking ass and doing all this, my question would be why, because very much I didn't have that impression given that he was getting bodied in the first episode. But if that was your impression, this episode very well might not be for you. I didn't think it would go as silly as it did, but I very much enjoy what they pulled off. Because the thing that really excited me about the first episode, outside of just having a more cyberpunky aesthetic, the fact that, you know, the biggest thing for me was the Demon Lord wasn't OP as it stands. You had that free run approach, that magic that potentially used to be powerful back in the day, you know, technology might have surpassed. But the biggest thing is he's not at his full strength. He confirms that in this episode, that if he was at full strength in the first episode, he would have cleared the whole sky with that attack that he did. Not to mention, we did also see him get jumped, which kind of makes sense. I mean, he came out of a 500,000 year slumber. I mean, yeah, it would make sense if he's not completely 100% as soon as he wakes up, right? So there's a lot for the journey of him. And I think one of the things that really caught the anime community by surprise a decade ago, when The Devil is a Part-Timer first came out in anime form, was that it was such a weird experience going from, like, okay, a Demon Lord coming to another world or whatever it is, they go to try to conquer it. They don't go work at McDonald's. So the idea that this man is now a streamer, no one's going to believe him. They're going to just think he's so good at the act, right? That he's just so in character, that he's a haha Demon Lord. And the idea of powering him up potentially by getting streaming numbers active is genius. It is dumb, but it is genius. you might want to say, well, you're contradicting yourself, but no. It's stupid at face value because what a Looney Tunes level idea. But it's brilliant because it makes sense of how they're explaining the Demon Lord and how his powers work. This show is fantastic. The name to me, Demon Lord 2099, was a fascinating title because I don't think I've ever seen a Demon Lord basically in the year 2100. So all that extra technology, all the advancements, I mean, there's a lot that you can explore. And obviously, the Demon Lord as it stands can't use the chips that everyone has because the person who made it really doesn't like the Demon Lord, so I'm still expecting black market. And if they don't, I think that would be a missed opportunity because usually in cyberpunk worlds, even if like you're not allowed to do something, there's usually someone who can jailbreak it, right? It's just going to be the equivalent of jailbreaking an iPhone, but for technology. But either way, I like it. I like the world building, the fact that you kickstart this episode off with Machina, like seeing her little avatar and how that is operating everything. I also think they're going to be doing a thing which I thought was just an episode 1 exclusive, but I wouldn't be shocked if every episode, like the past 2, starts off with a flashback. In this case, we got the flashback of when the Demon Lord saved Machina, who apparently has a ridiculous regeneration ability, and he saved her life. Though, I was really questioning it because obviously I knew she wasn't going to die there because we saw her in present day. But if she has a regeneration ability, if she would have fallen in that lava, unless she could have swam through it, that would have been the biggest form of torture because if she would have constantly regenerated, that would mean the pain would never go away. Because the big thing about burning alive is as painful as it is, and objectively one of the most painful things at first, eventually you no longer feel it because your pain sensors are done. But if she continuously healed, that would have hurt. Now, I don't know. Like, it was a big pool of lava. I don't know if she would have been able to swim through that. But that is pretty messed up when you think of it. But thankfully, the Demon Lord came in, and that's why the Demon Lord gets lap pillows whenever he's feeling down. Really, if streaming didn't work out, he really just needed Machina to write that resume, because that resume was not working out. Yeah, 500. I'm surprised they didn't throw him out and put him in rehab, because I thought the dude interviewing him thought he was a drug addict. It's just, I love this show. It is way better than even I thought it was going to be, and I already had a pretty high expectation going into the first episode. Let me know what the hell you thought of Demon Lord 2099 Episode 2. And I can't believe my Demon Lord's this cute streaming as a VTuber. What a stupid idea, but it's so freaking brilliant. Thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Diedrich Savon, Davelin, Harry Truscott, and we also have Furno19Z. I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.